It's Royal Anoles, you know. I have to always say, roll the intro. I make care guides, top 5s, unboxing, you know, classic reptiles, YouTube stuff. So, how do I do more dumb stuff? Let me take a book out of the average YouTuber, and we're doing reaction content. Now, this is all my buddy's idea, and I was sitting in the back of my head thinking about doing it, but never sat down and said, hey, let's film it. So, if you don't like this video, directly DM him and call him a crude name. That was a joke, by the way, like, I was joking.
Might be wondering why we're racing lizards. I promise it's science, and definitely not an underground lizard gambling ring.
Exactly why I've been breeding these anoles, you know, so I can breed them internet races and make buku bucks.
There are more than 400 species of anoles throughout the Caribbean, Central and South America, and the southeastern US. That diversity has made them an unlikely hero in the science world.
Not including subspecies or locales. Ain't that odd? So, it's really interesting, really fun, makes everything super complicated and confusing. And honestly, if you like lizards, you better love anoles, because, I mean, if there's over 400 species, that's not including sub or locale, how can you not like one? Yeah.
One thing we're still trying to answer is how these lizards are evolving to thrive in yet another major ecosystem, cities. It turns out these scaly city slickers are adapting to urban life in some really surprising ways.
Why are anoles evolving to live in cities? Very simply, forests are good and all, but you can thank us, the humans, for destroying those environments, introducing bigger, larger predators, or just straight up burning them down or cutting them all down. So once you destroy their environment, they still have a population. They aren't just all gonna go out and despawn, you know? They're gonna move to the next best environment, which is your city, your home, your world.
If you walk through the city, you'll just see them on everything.
Kristen Winchell is an expert in urban evolution. She studies lizards called anoles, which live all over the American tropics.
Does anyone use those weird fishing hook circle things? Whoop. I have no idea. I don't know, because me personally, I'm not in Florida, so I can't just go outside and go catch 100 different animals and this and that and have a fun day. I'm in Texas. I get to see red-eared sliders and snapping turtles and rattlesnakes. That's my herping experience.
Animal, and why is it an anole?
Said it. Now, is he right? 100%.
What you're looking for? Anole adaptations can be easy to spot. You see, species that live in different habitats have different traits. Big toe pads that help them stick to leaves in the treetops. Long legs that allow them to run fast on the ground. Short legs that help them climb without falling on the tiniest twigs, and so on. Kristen's question was, which of these traits, if any, would help anoles survive in the city? Kristen and I studied the Puerto Rican crested anole.
Crested anoles weren't invasive in Florida. It'd be one of the most popular anoles in my opinion. It's the crest. They're just essentially a little bit of a smaller version of Anolis varius, but more drab colors.
Say it and the lizard gods will deliver. Yeah, there's a female right there.
So we hit the streets to catch some lizards.
She's squirrely.
You're too slow, Kay. Stop embarrassing yourself on TV.
I had one and then I yeah, okay. Thanks, Shane. It's real nice. Invite me on your show and then make fun of me. I
embarrass myself all the time on quote-unquote TV, or the new TV, because it's on Google, because I film a video and I post on here. So
for the Puerto Rican crested anole, what did you find?
One of my initial findings was that in the city, the lizards had longer limbs relative to their body length, larger toe pads with more of these specialized scales on the toe pads.
Okay.
City environment, when you're hanging on to a, let's say, concrete building or a steel building, something that's a little smoother than stick or a tree branch, you know, and let's say there's high winds or anything that could put you in life-threatening actions. Now, we're going to use high winds because it's the easiest to explain right now. But let's say we're a anole. You know, this is my anole, and this is our tree, and we're on our tree. We're chilling. Now let's say a big old storm comes along. Whoosh. I'm gone. I'm most likely dead or been on the ground too long and a predator ate me, you know? But it's our other anole. We're gonna call this one Gabe. So unlike the other anole, Gabe has slightly bigger toe pads just off random chance at birth. Now, see that? He's holding on during this horrible wind. Guess what he gets to do now? He gets to get active with another lady anole, and he gets to make more kids with slightly larger toe pads, and they get to do the same thing they did. They get to have their own Gabe experience and make more larger toe pad anoles. Yeah!
Cities create what scientists call urban heat islands, areas with much hotter temperatures than the surrounding landscape. So a few years ago, Kristen and I decided to find out how urban and forest anoles responded to extreme heat.
The Gabe lizards are outperforming the country lizards. Yeah. Now, I'm just gonna spoil a little bit here. I'm not gonna spoil, I'll just give a little hint. But, as you know, adaptation means you're thriving. You as a species are going to thrive because of selective events that are making you gain certain new features over time. And you're knowing how to use them. Yeah. So, does that mean all anoles are doing this to a T? Are they all starting to become city slickers with greaseback hair and pompadours and leather jackets or whatever? Well, no.
To survive on the streets, crested anoles evolved longer legs, bigger toe pads, and better heat tolerance than their forest relatives. And it happened fast. Some of our urban study locations have only been cities for 30 years. That's evolution in overdrive.
Anoles are extremely fast-growing lizards. For example, this baby Cuban false chameleon, y'all, let me whip her out, well, him out, you see this little guy? He hatched out, honestly, not long ago, in a time, relatively, you know, it was like about almost 2 months ago at the time of filming this. Now, in a little as a year after hatching, if cared for properly, fed all the good stuff, and just treated well, it can breed. Now, that's really interesting, really cool. The only downside is that most anoles don't live the craziest long times, but when you're a large body anole like the night anoles or the giant green Jamaican green anoles or the Cuban false chameleons, you live kind of long, with your smaller ones living about 10, 12, 13 years. Now, hearing that about their lifespan, it's safe to make the assumption, oh, they must start breeding at a fairly young age. That's a good assumption because it's true. Most anoles will be breeding at the ripe old age of 1, and some species can even get active at 6 months old. About 30 to 40 eggs a year from one female. You know, a population can form really quickly.
Only 2 of Puerto Rico's 10 anole species are found in cities, and just 1, the crested anole, is really thriving. So yes, some species can adapt, but the ones that don't get squeezed out.
I mean, that's another reason why we should be studying the plants and animals that are doing well here so that we can maybe engineer cities to be a little more favorable to wildlife.
So typically when we think of ecosystems, right, we think of things like forests or deserts. Should we consider cities as ecosystems as well?
Yes, absolutely. And we should consider them as distinct ecosystems just like we do all those others.
Some folks aren't as comfortable as Kristen is with calling cities ecosystems.
So, into the video. why into the video? Well, simply, I can't let you watch all of it because YouTube wouldn't like that and that's lazy content. So, right here, go down and watch the video. Also check the link. There's a link to the video. There's the name. You know, you cannot miss it. Go watch it. It's intelligent, it's smart, it's fun video, good video, solid video. And if you actually like my take on the video, let me know, you know, because then I'll make